on 4K from Scream Factory is The Blob, one of my favourite 80s movies, one of my favourite remakes, right up there with Thing and The Fly. This is the often forgotten one of that trio, the one that's talked about the least, directed by Chuck Russell, who had previously done Nightmare on Elm Street 3 the year before, which is fantastic. We see a small town as it is slowly coming to terms with the fact that there is this gelatinous monster eating people. It's the simplest way to put it. Now you get some wonderful characters in here. You get Shawnee Smith as Meg. You've got Kevin Dillon as Brian, the kind of bad boy of the town, I suppose. You know he's a bad boy because he's got a leather jacket. He rides a bike and he ain't taking no crap from the law. Yeah, that kind of guy. And
either way, I want you out of my face.
You hard ass? Well, I'm in your face to stay. What are you going to do about it?
you know, his relationship with Shawnee Smith, they kind of bump into each other when they discover this old man with this horrible blob on his arm. And from then on, we're just kind of led into wonderful sequence after wonderful sequence. The Blob is a simplistic movie. A meteor arrives in the small town. It's carrying some kind of strange gelatinous creature which slowly starts to get bigger the more it eats. And it's so simple that the premise is easy to get behind and it's easy to understand what's happening, the machinations of the character, and you just get these wonderful sequences of effects and horror that are truly fantastic. Like the cinema sequence, which is terrific, the sewer sequence, which is pretty brilliant, that moment in the hospital at the start is pretty fantastic as well. The idea of this thing that can't be rationalized with, you can't talk to it, you can't deal with it, you can't bargain with it, it's just destructive and powerful and determined to continue to expand and grow. I love the idea of that, and of course small town science fiction horror is always terrific as well. It's some of the best ones that have been out there, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it's the small town of the faculty, those kind of things. And this is much the same as well, because you kind of get a layout of the land here. You understand the kind of geography of where we are and the characters and how they move about within this small world. And you get some fun moments later on as the army come into this small town, just causing more upheaval. The kind of friendly main scientist who's willing to help and trying to understand, who slowly changes into someone that's like, we need to deal with this, we need to be practical, it's time to just make the hard choices, of which this character does.
Close the manhole. That's my man down there.
But it gives us a kind of human bad guy to really root against at certain points. The Blob is just a fun film. At 95 minutes, it flies by, it's incredibly fun, there is very little fat on the movie at all. It just starts off at a great point, introducing wonderful characters and situations. Sure, can be a little bit tropey at points, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to reinvent the wheel here. You've got a wonderful script by Frank Darabont as well. Great direction by Chuck Russell, who really feels a little bit playful in a lot of the sequences here. And I think it's just one of those movies that I can sit down, it's so comforting, it's just fun and engaging and an easy watch. This 4K looks phenomenal, and it's just great to be able to get movies like that on that format. And The Blob, if you have not seen it, is an amazing movie. It's a genre movie. It's up there for me, like I said, with The Fly and The Thing as the best remakes, horror kind of films. And this is one that I would go back to and do go back to often. something I love. I would love to know your thoughts on the Blob. Do you love it like me? Do you hate it? Do you fall somewhere in the middle? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. And how do you compare it against the Steve McQueen original? I'd be curious to know about that as well. As always, there is more content up here where you can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com, always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.